Are you ready to create a life you crave? Let's spin that doom loop of negativity into an upward success cycle and start living lucky.
Good morning.
I'm Jana.
I'm Jason.
And we are living lucky.
You are too.
We were watching a movie and there was this fabulous quote to the point where Jason turns to me and says, I need to remember that. And then you actually took a step further and you texted it.
I did. I texted it to you
me.
because oftentimes if we're watching a movie, I'm going to stay invested in the movie and
I'm going to fall asleep.
And I won't remember the quote the next day.
In the morning. Correct.
And I don't want to have to spend the time to go back and look for it.
So let's read the quote.
I can remember the quote.
Okay, go for it.
It's and I will just paraphrase it because the paraphrasing does it just as much justice, I think. But you don't drown in the river from falling in it. You drown in the river from staying submerged.
Oh, okay. Let's say it one more time.
So you don't drown in the river from falling in it. You drown from staying submerged. And I think this ties in beautifully to the spinning plates episode because sometimes in life it feels like one of your plates has fallen and shattered.
Not only one,
maybe all of them.
I mean, kick me when I'm down,
Because
right?
one plate falls, and when while you're chasing after that one plate, then you knocked over two or three more, and it just feels like. Then you get into that doom loop of despair and you feel like, oh my gosh, this is happening to me. All these things are happening to me. And this goes all the way back to that quote of, it's not how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get back up. And
in fact, I think that is the measure of success, is how well can you rebound? Yes. How well can you take a punch and get back into the fight?
Yes, because we're all going to have these moments. I mean, that's life. It's a roller coaster ride. And the thing is, we want it to feel good. We want it to feel fun. And what we want is a gradual, at a minimum, a gradual and steady incline, like a rise. So that those dips aren't so profound and deep. But I think we will always have some of those deep valleys where we lose a loved one,
which
we have
I actually
a financial thing.
I think those valleys, call me crazy, and I don't want to manifest more of them. So don't get me wrong on that front. However, I think those obstacles, challenges, valleys, those low points of falling into the river, I actually think those are gifts.
They are. Well, it's because you've learned the art of the setback being the setup.
That's exactly
and also
it.
Radical gratitude. When you did your TEDx on radical gratitude, it was when you were writing that speech, it blew my mind because I also watched the progression of it and saw how you got there with the sarcasm with God and going, oh, I'm so thankful that I'm in a wheelchair. And then when it hit you and you were like, wait a minute.
I kind of am, because it has
look at where this
brought me to exactly where I'm at.
And look at all the places it's taken
me. Look at all the wonderful experiences and all the wonderful people that have poured into my life. And yes, I seriously believe that my disability has been one of my greatest spiritual teachers.
Yeah. And we go through this spiritual curriculum, and when we can look at it as what's happening for me, the quicker we can find that, the quicker we get to see how we're champions and we're survivors and we're climbing the mountain instead of being tackled by it. And it's amazing. And it's very empowering. And that's beautiful. So that gives us the strength to not stay submerged in the river. But sometimes we just want to lay on the couch and say, woe is me.
We always go back to laying on the couch. You know, that's one of our downfalls is we tend to.
I've talked to several clients and they're saying, I know that feeling. Like, I think that's a common thing is we get home from work. And I'm using we collectively, not just you and I.
Yes.
But people get home from work.
And everyone listening to this,
And we say, I'm exhausted. I just want to get on the couch. I want to veg for a minute. I just want to take a break.
That is natural. That's human. That's just being human. However, we have been conditioned a little bit to say those things, feel that way. I do believe once we become conscious of what we're actually creating there.
Right. And tell me the change when we start realizing, oh, I'm building my dream and things feel like they're actually moving in progress. And I feel like I'm getting so close. We wake up in a different state of mind. We wake up and start doing a different thing. And it's like, it's almost hard to fall asleep because we're thinking, I can do a little bit more because I'm so excited. But we need some sleep.
It does come down to your state.
Yes.
It really comes down to what state are you in. So if you do go through some sort of, I'll just say knock in the face, you get punched in the face. And if you stay in that
submerged,
oh my God, I don't want to go back to school because I'm going to get punched again.
You're telling yourself a different story.
Right?
Yes. So therefore you've created a new lens of life and you're staying submerged in that lens.
And
you're
that
starting
story.
to see everything as that story unfolds and you're writing your story that way. And it's crazy.
Instead of saying, you know what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to have the best day today.
Boy, do I have enthusiasm.
Right? And I am going to create a connection with this bully so that we become friends.
And some people say this sounds
Pollyanna.
And say that all you want, but it works.
It works.
And
it's all about how you feel. The state that you're in determines what you're thinking, and what you're thinking determines how you feel. It's a symbiotic relationship.
There's a reason that the study of positive psychology has come out and it's become so profound and so prolific in psychology today. It's because it's powerful. We used to look for what was wrong with people and why it was holding people back. Now we look at what's right with people and why they're so successful. And if you want to look at those things, those people are not staying submerged. Mm-hmm. They're saying, okay, what happened? And
how can I learn from this?
How did it benefit
How
me?
can I grow? What is this teaching me? It goes back to the empowering questions.
How can I make this powerful for myself?
We have talked about that so many different times on so many different podcasts in so many different ways. When you get knocked down, what is the story what is that internal voice saying? What is the internal voice saying? What is your soul saying? And if you train that voice to start asking empowering questions,
you get empowered.
You will be empowered. However, if you're conditioned to go into the woe is me, I'm always the victim,
and the thing
life isn't fair.
It is a new language for most of us.
It is because we've been conditioned.
Yes.
We've been conditioned. And so the 99% of people are conditioned in that way. And until you become aware and conscious.
Till you choose to be a 1%er.
Until you choose. Yes.
Yeah, you just choose to say, I'm going to learn this language because I see it's effective for the people that are successful.
Yes.
And that in the language is freaking free. The language is free.
We give it to you free 3 times a week. Wow. The more we talk about this, we've been talking about this for years now, and it feels like I learn something new on a deeper level every time we have a conversation.
I was talking about this with my coach and then also with a client on Friday. And it's when you hear something at a different level, mm-hmm. you get to take it in from a different perspective.
You do.
And it can be the same thing.
A different level.
And that's one of the things. So remember when we used to go to conferences and we'd be like, or I would anyway, I don't know if you did this, but I would say, I've heard this before. And I would kind of shut the door. Mm-hmm. I would sit there because we were together.
No, I would hear, you gotta have gratitude. And I would seriously go, gratitude, platitude.
I know all about gratitude. Well,
I'm the expert on effing gratitude.
But so you did it too.
Yes, so everybody does.
Shut the door.
Or you sit there and go, positive mental attitude, my ass.
Now I can listen to a 5-year-old talk about gratitude and I will get something because I'm hearing it from a different level of my knowing
I
and
get it from,
understanding.
I learn from every single person I come into contact with.
It's incredible.
And what I see in other people is really
what we see
just a
reflection,
a window of what I see in myself. And so that is really, really an interesting tidbit once you get to that point.
Yeah, when you can start recognizing your reflection in the person that you're angry at, or
You're
that
like,
you're excited.
Where's this anger coming from? And where have I learned it? Where have I held on to it? It's
or that you're attracted to, because a lot of times we're attracted to someone and when we don't feel like we're attractive, but it's in you if you're attracted to them.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've just gone all over the place, but let's go back to the original quote. The quote is,
you don't drown in the river by falling in the river. You drown in the river by staying submerged in the river.
So no matter where you are right now, in this moment, you can make a choice. We all can make a choice. How am I going to react? How am I going to react?
If you're in the river right now and you're underwater, start swimming up. Ooh. And if it's hard
life
swimming up.
Life is 90% of what
is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react.
How you react. Thank you for correcting me.
Just helping you through it. Statistics are 90% made up anyway.
I already knew that. I already knew it. Listen to me, acting like I already know. Keep an open mind
and keep living lucky.
Thank you. Bye-bye. If the idea of living lucky appeals to you, visit us at startlivinglucky.com.